As I assess Ukraine, I certainly feel for the folks there. This has been battles for thousands of years over the borders of Ukraine. But where we're at today, I think it's very disingenuous to say that this war is anything but a stalemate. Look, the war front has not moved in over a year's time. It's a quagmire. But meanwhile, 200,000 Ukrainians have died. Maybe twice that number of Russians have died. Probably 1 million casualties with no end in sight. This is a never-ending war. Just like the Afghan war, I'm not sure how long Russia was there, but for years and years, and then America was there for years and years. But just due to the terrain, due to all the circumstances there appears to me to be no end in sight. And anyone who says otherwise, I think, is just not being intellectually honest with themselves or with Americans. I think the focus should be on some type of peace talks right now, not on fueling this fire, not on throwing more gasoline on this fire, not sending them more and more weapons. I think that if there's a will, there's a way. And that if America was leading on some type of a peace talks, I think we could have already been there by now. But one of the challenges we have that with a president who's lost his reputation is trying to slow Putin down. So he's in this for the long haul. He's not going to step down. He's not going to step back when he sees a weak president that we have who is even afraid of Iran. So for all those reasons, I cannot support funding to Ukraine at this point in time. I think we have to secure our border first, and then I'm willing to talk about funding for Ukraine. But I need to know what's the path to victory? What's our goal here? What does some type of a realistic schedule look like for that war coming to a conclusion? But this legislation before us even promises money for future years. Again, misinformation being passed around by some of my colleagues. So this bill commits future presidents to funding this Ukraine war. And by the way, there's a lot of Americans back home that don't think that this is a good idea at all. Look, I grew up in the Vietnam era. I remember what it was like on my way to my grandparents to drive by the cemetery and see coffins draped with the American flag and the bugler playing taps on a regular basis, too often. A person that I saw playing high school football last season and hear their life had ended. I don't want more wars. I want less wars. But right now we're projecting weakness. Joe Biden has given us war through weakness instead of peace through strength.